All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect. And we're going to get right into it. You know, we out here once again. I titled the lesson 2023 is gonna be something else. Okay, and I watched a video that was done by the elder brother Amawang Gabar, as well as the elder Ayathan. And basically, there was a documentary, which I'm gonna be very, very careful how I say it, but there was a documentary that was referenced by Amawang Gabar, and I checked it out. You know, it was a very interesting documentary indeed. You know, and I mean, you watch it and you know you get what you get from it. But if it is according at least to some of the things that were mentioned in there, then and you got to watch the video to find it. All right, you got to watch his video, and he's gonna drop the name of it in the video. All right, and then you got to go search it. But if things are according to that documentary, then pretty much there are a lot of people walking around on borrowed time. Okay, a lot of people are walking around on borrowed time. You know, people that are associated with the Kool-Aid, the jump shot, whatever you want to call it. They're walking around definitely on borrowed time. So, as a matter of fact, let's start with Revelation, the 6th chapter, with the red horse. And then we'll go into some other places from there. Second Ezra 15 as well. We'll start at the top because this is the times that we're living in. You know, and let's do Jeremiah 30 and 7. So let's start with Revelation, the 6th chapter first, because that's the times we're living in right now. We're living in the times of unprecedented chaos, and it got to start at some point, right? And it got to start somewhere. You know, it has to start at some point, and it has to start somewhere, and we know, according to the scriptures, that it's going to get to a point where we're seeing things that have never been seen before in terms of judgment. You know, things on a dangerous scale. All right, so that means that you can't look at society the way it is now and psych yourself out. You know, and think, oh, how is it possible that, I mean, things are bad now, but how is it really going to get to the level where you're going to have complete chaos and anarchy in these streets, where martial law is going to be declared and all of these things are going to be going down? Okay, well, keep in mind that the Lord can make things just like that. He can flip things on a dime. As a matter of fact, a lot can happen in a day. A lot can happen in a week. You know, things can change. The course of life can change drastically in the span of 1 week, or in a day or 2 or 3 days. Okay? And they show you that in the movie, was it American Blackout? How the power went out for about, what, 24, 48, or 72 hours or something along those lines. And people were losing it. You know? They were losing it. Because this society is so artificial, it's built upon all people expect the lights to come on when you flip the switch. You expect water to come out when you turn on your faucet. You expect all of these things. And people are not used to how they don't even know how to think in a situation where the things they expect don't happen, where the unexpected happens. So when that takes place, there's going to be a lot of chaos going on. A lot of panic is going to set in very quickly.
Yep, just to add to what you're saying, because the normal course of life is going to be broken. How things happen normally, people are going to be seeking answers when all hell breaks loose. People are not going to know what to do. There are two answers. Esau's going to have his answer, which is going to be Revelation 13 and 16. But we know the true answer is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." So when all hell breaks loose, we're going to have stability. We're going to know what to do. That's why we're going to have the answer. We're going to know how to maneuver in these times. Whereas people who don't know what to do, they're going to be lost. They're going to be seeking these answers.
All right. That was Isaiah 33. 36. That's it. And as it says, the strength of salvation, right? Because in order to be delivered, you gotta, Yahweh Shai said, he that endures unto the end, the same shall be saved. So there's gonna be a whole lot of things to endure. There's another scripture that says that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom. So we also gotta labor. Now, the Lord has made it to where it's gonna be possible, right? We call ourselves the hopeful elect because it's gonna be possible for us to make it into the kingdom. But for the rest of these people out here, it's going to be impossible. Those that are not of the elect, it's going to be impossible. Okay? It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be possible. And if you want the kingdom that bad, then all you need to know is that it's possible. Okay?
So a little bit to add on to Isaiah 33:6, it says, and strength of salvation. Now, I believe it's in Jeremiah where it says, cursed be he that puts his trust in man,
Right.
and make it his arm his strength. So that's what people are going to do. They're going to put their strength, their trust in Esau. But the strength of salvation is putting your trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Right. Yeah, and that's something that not a lot of people push. Which, look, man, both the scriptures say that if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. Now, the crazy part about it is that there are a lot of blind who don't know that they're blind. You know, because obviously when the Lord said that, he wasn't. The meaning of that is not literal blind people leading other literal blind people, but being blind spiritually. You have people that are misleading you. All right, they're teaching you false things. They're telling you the MOTV is not the MARK. All right, they're telling you that it's not the C-hip. They're telling you they're using names. They're getting you accustomed to use names that are not the proper, true, correct names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Christ is not the name of the anointed. Okay, Yahweh Shai is the name of Yahweh Shai. But that's the thing. People are not. There are a lot of Israelites that are not getting their mind prepared for these times. So when what's that? Shit hits the fan. SHTF, the water. When SHTF happens, they're gonna bug out because they're not primed. They weren't primed in the correct way. See, Esau has a method that he uses called priming. When you have Trayvon Martin got shot. What's that? Mike Brown. I think he's the one that got choked out. When these things started happening, Eric Gardner.
No, I think it was him that got choked.
He got choked out, right? Okay. So when these things started happening, Jake was in an uproar. They were wilding because it was new, right? And it, to some extent it was. But over time, Jake started getting used to that. So now if an Israelite gets shot in the streets or he gets, or Edomite cop does something, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of an uproar because you're used to it. You hear it all the time, you know? And that's Jake has been primed. Really, a lot of Americans have been primed to think a certain way.
Right.
Oh, wow. Christ is here. Save yourself. Wow, look at that. What an attention. You know, so, but and it's written in red too. You know, but that's the times we're in. So a lot of people have been primed to think a certain way, to live a certain way. Man, look, after watching that documentary, you know, I mean, certain things that were mentioned in there made sense here and there. But the problem is, even though all the evidence is pointing to one thing, you have Americans that don't want to believe that. And they don't want to believe it because they've been conditioned to think that it is impossible for your own government to come up with such a diabolical plan to kill you. And that is so hard for them to accept that. It will cause such a level of cognitive dissonance in their mind that they can't resolve, that they'd rather say, no, I ain't going to believe it. Even though all the evidence points to it. So yeah, let's get into that.
All right, this is Revelation 6:3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say,
And this is the Apostle John, because he was given these revelations, and this is what he said. Go ahead.
come and see. And there went out another horse that was red.
Which these horses that the Apostle John was seeing, they don't represent actual horses, right? Because he saw when the prophets were writing these things down, right? These visions that they got, they weren't writing the meaning of the visions. Most of the time, they were writing what they actually saw, right? So when we go, for example, right, when the Apostle John saw the woman, Babylon, he actually saw a woman, he didn't see America and then call America a woman. Now he did see America in his vision, but when he talks about the woman, when he writes down, oh, he saw a woman dressed in scarlet and all of that, that was the actual woman that he saw. How do we know that? Well, if we know the woman represents America, but if the Apostle John saw a city, why would he then go and write that he saw a woman dressed in scarlet riding upon a beast? That doesn't make sense, right? So a lot of them, the prophets wrote down what they actually saw, and now we're here to give you the meaning. Oh, okay, well, he saw a white horse, so he saw a red horse, but what he saw means this or represents this, because those visions are similar to dreams. When you have a dream, there's times when you have a dream and you don't know what the dream means. All you can say is, oh, well, in my dream I saw this, and in my dream I saw that. I saw this symbol, I saw this creature, I saw this here. And then you have one like thank you, the water. That's what I was thinking of. Joseph, he saw the cattle, right? And he saw the corn. He saw the fat cattle. He saw the skinny cattle. He saw the corn with good ears, and he saw the ones that look all messed up. And then that's what Pharaoh saw, and Joseph was able to interpret that. See, Pharaoh didn't see famine. He saw a representation of famine as cattle and corn. And Joseph said, okay, what you saw actually means this, or what you saw actually represents this. So that's the same thing we're doing now. Where the apostle John said, okay, well, in my vision, this is what I saw. I saw this, I saw that, I saw this. And we're saying, okay, through the Spirit, what you saw actually means this. So when you go into Revelation, the 6th chapter, he says what? Just read that.
Oh, start again.
Yeah, you can start again.
Revelation 6:3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red.
Which that beast was an angel, because you have angels that have different forms. You have angels that are in humanoid form, where they look like humans, and they got wings. Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, goes into a description of how some of the angels look. But you also have certain angels that have eyes round about. Is in the book of Revelation, I believe the 4th chapter talks about it. You have angels that have literally eyes all round about them. Scary looking. So you have different angels that look different ways. But he said a beast, right? So go on.
And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Which is that red horse. Now, a horse is symbolic for power. It's a symbol for power. You have the term horsepower, for example, right? So a horse is a symbol for power. So these horses that the Apostle John saw, the red horse in particular represents Esau Edom. Okay? And him that sat upon the horse is really the elites of the Edomites, because they are the ones who have the power. There's a scripture that refers to them as the God of this world. Okay, how it talks about those that have not the truth have been blinded by the God of this world, which the word God means a power, right? So they are powers, or the Lord has given them that power over this world, Job 9:24, on the left-hand side, right? So that red horse, which we're reading about here, represents Esau Edom, but more specifically, their elites, okay, their ruling class. And what does it say the power was given them to do? You just read from where you left off.
And that they should kill one another.
Actually, go up a bit. Start after the red beast, the red horse.
And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
To take peace from the earth, right? So when you look at Esau and you wonder, why is it? Matter of fact, can we get what's that? Psalm 53 or 58? I think it's 53 and 8 or 58 and 3. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They be born. Oh yeah, all right. Bring out whatever you got, and then we hit Psalms after.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Right, and when something is hid, you can't see it. You don't know where it is. You don't understand. So as the Apostle Paul said, if our gospel be hid, which is really the gospel of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, the good news. So if you tell somebody the good news, right, and they give you a negative reaction, that means they can't see the good news. That means that the gospel has been hid from them. And if it's been hid from them, as it says what? Read that.
Just to add to what you're saying, if it's hid and not everybody can get it and receive it, then how is salvation to everybody?
There you
if
go.
some can't receive the first one.
There you go.
Verse 4, it says, in whom the
Like, you can read verse 3 again?
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid,
Right, so if our gospel is hid,
it is hid to them that are lost.
it is hid to them that are lost. So if you are lost, that's the only, those that can't receive it, what is that? What is the Apostle Paul saying here? He's saying that they're lost. Okay? Man, close, hold up. Yeah, there you go. So if they can't receive it, then they're lost. Right? Go on.
Verse 4. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not.
Yeah. All right. So, and how has he done that? Through the deception. All right. Through the lies. Job 9:24. When you cut, like for example, one of the examples is covering the faces of the judges thereof. All right. Well done. Yeah, man. Hey, but going on as it says, right? In whom the God of this world has blinded, right? Well, oh, watch out. Come on this side.
Yeah, I see it.
Very crazy when you move down the bridge. Right, the God of this world has blinded because what? The Lord, what's that? Romans, the first chapter? We can get that. The first chapter. Go Revelation and the first chapter. Because it talks about how the Most High gave them up to reprobate unclean spirits. And because of that, they've been allowed to be blinded. See, the elect are not going to get blinded. There's a scripture that says that if it were possible, they would deceive the elect, but they cannot deceive the elect. See? I got it, bro. Those that don't, your verse over? Yeah. All right.
It says Romans the first chapter.
Yeah, I think it's around, it says, because they didn't want to retain the knowledge of the Most High in their head, he gave them up with the unclean spirit, probably around the 20th verse or so. Or maybe up above. But it goes into how they, doing it. You start off with this. Get all the content.
Let's start with
All right.
Romans chapter 1, verse 21. Because that when they knew the Most High,
Because that when they knew the Most High, who's this talking about? Israelites. Right? Go on.
they glorified him not as God,
So,
neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened.
Yeah, so they were unappreciative, and they started going and delving into other gods and other religions. They started committing spiritual adultery against the Most High. And so their heart was darkened. Okay? Go on.
Verse 22, professing themselves to be wise,
Because you got to understand that there are constantly demons out here that are looking to feed upon you. They're looking to feed upon your spirit. They're looking to corrupt you. So when you are serving the Lord, there is a hedge that's about you. And the thing is, that hedge is consistent. It has to consistently be there. So when they started to go into these other gods and they turned their back on the Lord, he basically said, all right, instead of protecting them, this is what they want to do, leave them. And them demons went and got into their minds, and as it says, their minds were darkened, their hearts. Because in the Hebrew, the word there is lav, which means your mind. Go on.
verse 22, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Right, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. So as they thought they were getting deeper and deeper and getting, like for example, you got Jake today, right? You got Jake that'll be into Kemet, or they'll be into these other philosophies, thinking that they get deep, right? But they don't realize that what happens when you go into an ocean, and you want to get so deep up in that ocean, eventually you're going to drown, right? You're going to go where you're going to go, and there's such a thing as getting too deep. So they're going to get one deep, it's not enough for them. They get too deep, and then they meet the sharks. They meet the piranhas. They meet the orcas, you know? They meet the giant squids, and then they can't come back out. Because see, when you get to a point where it's too deep, and you realize that you can't step on no solid ground anymore, you gotta keep try to keep afloat. You're done.
Right, to add to your point, because the point of swimming is to know how to swim in the water so that way you don't drown. But if you drown, like you're saying, getting too deep, then you're going to drown and die. The point of swimming is to be able to maneuver in the water and stay up.
Yep. But they trying to go deep. So the Most High said, all right, So like in the I think it was in the what's that, Pirates of the Caribbean? One of them where they had the mermaids. And then man, was the fourth one? Man, them mermaids, man, shit, I'm glad they don't exist. Cause them shits were scary, man. When I first watched that, I was young. And I saw them and at first they were singing. They were singing this nice song. They were almost hypnotizing the pirates. You know, and then they come out looking all nice and shit. And then they turn into some demons. I don't know if one of them shot at one of them, and their teeth got sharp, and then they just grabbed this dude by the foot. Cause you had dudes in the water, they moving their feet and shit. That mermaid just dragged the dude and pulled him down. That's what's gonna happen when you try to go too deep. Cause at first you're gonna think, oh, this is not so bad. You know? It's not so bad. And then and all of a sudden, before you know it, boom, you're gonna get dragged to the bottom. And as you're going down, you try to come back up, you're going into territory that you ain't never been before. There's gonna be predators, and them predators are them demons. Because you're gonna think, all right, let me get into this rabbit hole and see how deep the hole goes. And you're gonna find out. See?
I remember my father told me something once. He was like, I'm gonna try to say it the best he said it. He was basically saying how if you can't explain something to somebody in easy words, then you shouldn't be explaining it at all.
Hey, the scriptures talk about that, using words easy to be understood. The spiritual, that card says explore the other side.
And it's water, right?
Yeah, it's water, exactly. That's the thing. When they try to explore, that's what they try to do. In Romans, as we're reading, they try to explore the other side. But the Most High ain't telling you. What business you got exploring the other side? If you're on the right hand side, you stay on the right hand side. Well, we tried it. Started with Eve, Adam and Eve. They tried exploring the other side, and look at where we at. Got it, bro.
Romans chapter 1, verse 23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man.
Yeah, because instead of worshiping the most, see, you got these so-called deities, right? You got idols, Dagon, Anubis, Amenhotep, or whatever. You got these different gods and idols that people attribute the glory of the Most High to. See, there's a certain glory that you give to a higher power, right? A certain reverence that you say, you know what? This is God, right? You have the Muslims that worship Allah. You have the I don't know, the Buddhists that worship Buddha, or whoever they worship, or however they worship, right? You got different people that worship different gods, but one thing they all have in common is they're attributing some level of respect and reverence and worship to this power. That's the glory right there, right? So instead of giving that glory to the Most High, what they're doing is they started creating these idols and then taking the glory that's supposed to be given to the Most High. And what does that glory consist of? The fear, right? The obedience, the worship, the praise. That's a glory you give to a higher power, right? You say, okay, well, I believe there's a higher power out there, so I'm going to be obedient. You know, I'm going to humble down. I'm going to, whatever the case is. So they took that from the Most High. They try to take the Most High's glory and give it to an idol. Okay? Now, that doesn't make the idol any more real, and it doesn't make the Most High any less real, but it pisses the Most High off. Okay? In essence, it's like your woman taking the respect she has for you and giving it to another man. You see? That other man is not you, but the respect that she's supposed to give to you, she's giving to another man. Right? And that's the problem. Got it?
Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 15. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring upon this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it.
Now keep in mind, right? We're dealing with Jeremiah. Jeremiah, what are we thinking about? Somewhere around 627 BC, somewhere along there, right around the rise of the Babylonian Empire, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, right? So Jeremiah is speaking to the Israelites. Mainly at this time, you had the Southern Kingdom, the Northern Kingdom. They were at this time. The bulk of them had come to the Americas, right? Now the Lord was using Jeremiah to pronounce judgment upon Israel, and this actually took place back then. However, a lot of these scriptures that we read of, like when you go into the book of Jeremiah, there's some chapters that are prophetic, some chapters that happened already. But within some of these events that were proclaimed upon Israel back then, the Lord is going to do the same thing now. Because you got to think about it, right? Why did the Lord pronounce judgment against Jake back then? Because of the wickedness they were doing. And the Lord said he changes not, right? So what's he going to do in this time? He's going to pronounce the same kind of judgment and worse upon Jake now. So that's why we're able to apply some of these precepts to the time now. That's why we can read these precepts and say, okay, well, we're reading this, it happened before, but the Lord is going to do that same thing again now. So
is of today. And what's going on right now is they still, these curses are still on us.
there you go.
All right. So these people of ancient times were still our people, but we still doing the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if I may, if you were done your point, when he pronounced that against it, is because they have hardened their necks that they might not hear of my word.
Right.
All right, and now that's what we're dealing with right now. A lot of these people are getting glimpses of the change in time, the change of guards, as I should say, because the kingdom is being transferred. All right, this used to be the earth. The earth used to be in the hands of the wicked, but now the Lord is bringing it back to the hands of the righteous. All right. So what's happening right now is that we are still being stiff-necked and hardened, and the Lord is passing off judgment even on a stronger level. All right. So what's happening is that when y'all deal with how Jake be against the prophets and all that, that's prophesied. That's supposed to happen. But what is also supposed to happen is that, guess what? The chain of God, the rulers of this earth right now know that their time is up. All right. So that's why we come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this place, which is their kingdom. This is not our kingdom right now, so we humble. When we come back as hunters, y'all gonna realize.
So if you bring that back up too.
From the top.
Yeah, from where you were reading. Yep, from the top.
All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 15. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring upon this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it.
So now the Lord said upon the city and upon all her towns, right? Speaking of Israel. So back then it was the city and it was and the Lord did, right? Because by Jeremiah's mouth, the Lord warned Israel. Jeremiah was telling, I think it was Zedekiah, who was the last king of Judah, because he was really just set up in there. But Jeremiah told him, look, the Lord is going to raise up the Babylonians, but when they come against you, don't rebel. Just go along with it. And Zedekiah, Jake, one day he'll listen. Oh yeah, what do we do when they're there? Then the next day, hey, no, we ain't doing this. So he was done anyway. But the point is, the Lord said over the city and the towns, which now would just represent wherever Jake is. All right? And we're reading the judgments that the Lord has pronounced against you Israelites. And we come out here all the time and do that. That was it on that verse?
No. Finishing on, it says, because they have hardened their necks, that they might not hear my word.
There you go. They have hardened their necks, so they don't want to turn. There's a scripture that says that they have pulled away the shoulder. What happens when you're talking to somebody, right? Let's say, for example, somebody's standing right there, but facing in the opposite direction. And you're like, you're talking to them and they just hear almost like they can't hear you. And you go to grab their shoulder to turn them, and the second you put your hand on their shoulder, they just pull off away. They're showing you that what? I don't care for what you're saying. There's a scripture that says they cast the word of the Lord behind them. Now in like one of the what's the word I'm looking for here? For lack of a better word, we'll just say one of the signs, right? A sign of disrespect in some of the West Africa, like Ghana, for example, a sign of disrespect. If somebody's talking to you and you just go like this, and they're behind you, that's a sign of disrespect. That's almost like F you, like I don't give a damn what you say, that kind of thing. So them pulling away the shoulder is almost closely equivalent. It's like you're trying to get their attention, but they're like, I don't, whatever you're saying, I ain't even trying to hear it. And that's a spirit of rebelliousness.
If you ain't trying to hear what the Lord say to you, that's your heavenly Father. You know how much disrespectful that is? Like when my children act like they don't want to hear what I got to say, man, you on the burn for a couple of weeks. Don't ask me for nothing until you repent. All right, Dad, I'm sorry for being so rebellious or whatever. And that's what the Lord did to us, man. We on a 2,000-year punishment, man, if not longer.
Right. Right. That's right. That's right.
It says Romans chapter 1 verse 23, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man.
Right, so they started worshiping, when it says image, it's talking about idols. So they started worshiping idols as though them idols were the Most High, were the Creator. Now, Jeremiah, matter of fact, we can get that. You got your phone? All right, Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. If it's not in here, it's more likely in your pocketbook in Baruch, the 5th chapter, or letter of Jeremiah. It'll be in this way.
Looking for his letter to Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Baruch.
Baruch?
Oh, the epistle of
Epistle, okay. Yeah, take a look. I don't know if yours, how yours has it. It'll probably be right after Baruch. Yeah, you got it.
No, it's in Baruch, but it's like the last.
Yeah, 6th chapter. So that's when the system will come in here. Because, see, Jeremiah goes into it, right? The letter that he wrote, basically Jeremiah wrote a letter to Jake in Jerusalem, going as captives into Babylon to warn them, to tell them, look, you're going to go into Babylon. When you get there, you're going to see idols. You're going to see this. You're going to see them worshiping and having different customs that you're not used to. But don't go along with it. Just because the multitudes are going along with it, you're going to see them giving a level of reverence to these idols that we don't do. Do not fall in line. Do not go along with those things. And then he curses out the idols to put emphasis on the fact that they are not real. Okay? They're not living. They're literally wood and stone and covered with gold, made with your hands. Think about it. Would an idol exist if man didn't exist? No, they wouldn't. Because man made the idol. Right? Now you got to think about that. Okay, well, what did man make the idol from? The man made an idol from wood, tree, materials that the Most High created. So this God, right, that you made with the resources of the earth that was made by another God, is supposed to be the Most High God? That doesn't make sense. And Jeremiah goes into that. But let's finish in Romans and then we'll take a look over there.
Romans chapter 1 verse 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
Right, so a lot of Israelites are in this condition because this is what they wanted. Just like in the wilderness, when they were complaining and the Most High brought that quail, and then they were eating that, but see, it was never enough for Jacob. What's that?
Got it.
Oh, you got that. You know, so the Most High, yeah. But in any case, he brought that quail, and then he had to bring the fire on the ass because Jake was just did nothing that's good enough for Jake. So what the Most High said was, you know what? Fine, I'm gonna stop trying. I'm gonna give you up to that uncleanness. You know, it's like you're constantly battling with somebody to do good for them. You're constantly telling them, look, I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to, I don't want to hear it. Oh, you're only doing it. All right, cool. This is what you want to do. Fine, go ahead and do it. And then you're gonna realize what I was trying to protect you from. So uncleanness, right? So now you think about it. What are some examples of uncleanness that Jake became? Jake became sodomites, idol worshippers, murderers, eating abominable foods, becoming temple harlots. You know, will it be good by itself, or you gotta monitor it?
Following a
I
temple with them
can tie it
drugs.
around, like how Apostle Ramla
Following
does.
a temple with them drugs.
Yeah.
All that hookah and all that, that's not a Israelite custom. Those spirits is coming from people that praise spirits, other gods, through getting high, man.
Yeah, heathenistic customs. You know, and that's what Jake started getting into. But the Most High gave them up to that. So So uncleanness entered into our nation. All right. Maybe if it's laying on the ground, it won't swing as much if it's already touching the ground. So if you let it hang low enough.
But the concrete will drain the battery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
I heard that. Yeah, just keep tying it until it's stiff up there. There you go.
That's it. So in any case, uncleanness entered into Israel. So for example, you'll see the Apostle Paul. He mentions some of these things, right? In past times, being in past times Gentiles, and he lists some of the acts that Jacob was getting into.
Quick one, because I was talking to someone that was like into smoking hookah and they tried to convince me that it's fine and all that. Now you gotta think about it. Smoke is smoke at the end of it, just like that incense smoke up there. Sometimes I'd be like, when I burn the incense smoke and get very too close to my face, and I inhale smoke, I'm like,
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
so you gotta think about it. Hookah is smoke. If you wouldn't inhale smoke from a fire if it's burning, why would you inhale that? It's the same thing, except you're just
Toxic.
putting it into your lungs straight there. And why do you think you have that? Because the same effect, just like smoke from a fire. If you wouldn't inhale smoke from a burning house, why would you do it from smoking?
You ever, Salah, you ever burnt a pen trying to heat it up? Or just as a kid, we used to burn the pen. And the plastic residue is toxic because the chemicals, you know what I mean? It's like burning a whole nuclear power plant when you burn plastic. That's why they call it pollution. All right? So if you not burning, because like when you burn a tree, it gives off that cedar, that wood. Like when we had the campfire, it wasn't the same as with all the ingredients that go. When you buy hookah, it's like a gel. They don't even have, it ain't even wood. It's like a whole plastic gel that you put on that thing. I've seen it done. And before I came into the world, I did hookah before. Not on a regular basis, but I tried it. And it's such of a toxic feeling that I never smoked cigarettes in my life. So to try hookah back in 07 and stuff like that before I came into truth, I was like, nah, this ain't for me. Something wrong with this. You know, and people practice it. Jake practiced it as a ritual. Like, this is something that we did as ancient Israelites, and we never did that, man. That stuff is killing our people. You might as well smoke an E pen, those vapor pens. That's how toxic that is, man.
Yep. But at the end of the day, man, they're not going to take heat. You know, so the Most High is going to do it. See, because like you were mentioning with the plastic, like you said, when they in these factories, right? In order to get things to be a certain way, right? There's a lot of chemicals that go into it. And when you look at the pen cap, it doesn't look toxic because you can't see the chemicals in there. But when you burn it, that fire is energy, all right? And heat turns elements into an excited state. Like they teach you that in chemistry. When they go into an excited state, they move faster, right? That's how you have you go from solid to liquid to gas, right? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, solid is the less it's moving, the more solidified it becomes. The point is, as you are putting fire to this plastic or whatever, the fumes of it are starting to come out. That's like when the whole concept of why you would heat up your food before you eat it, for example, or when you cook food, you put it on fire, you put it on the fire, whatever the case is.
Bring out the flavor.
Yeah, you bring out the flavor. You reactivate all those things that were sleeping. Well, it's the same thing on the right hand, but it's the same thing on the left hand side. You know. And they kill themselves, and then they wonder why they get cancer and they develop all these sicknesses.
The pandemic where they were saying that vaping and all that was killing Esau. That's why they made it an epidemic. When they was like, yo, we gotta kill the war on drugs because the opioids is killing our kids.
Right.
It was only because their kids was doing those, like even in the 80s, and Jake wasn't on popping pills and all that back then. It was the punk rockers. It was the little Edomite kids, man. They was doing all those weird drugs, the opioids and the uppers and the downers. All right. So now Jake is on the uppers and the downers now, man. Y'all doing Molly, y'all doing perks, y'all doing all them crazy drugs. And he ain't no different, man. If you think that you just cause you can get in public places and do your vape pen because it's not actual smoking in public places, because you know it's designated areas where you can't smoke. But if you got an e-pen, you feel like you can smoke. You still doing pills, you're doing uppers and downers. It's an opioid, all right? It's a synthetic high. All right. So for all our jet kids out there, if y'all think because y'all neutral, because y'all doing those e-pens, y'all going off, man. Y'all under them influences of the heathen, man. Y'all walking in the way of the heathen.
You gotta stay away from that stuff, man.
Yeah,
Just stick to the herbs, man. And if you take care of yourself, you have a good diet, you exercise, you won't have to, end up in a position where you are even having sicknesses and all of these things. But a lot of these things come from poor decisions that Israelites make.
Continuing, Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies.
Hear that? The lust of their own hearts. This is why Yahushua emphasized committing adultery in your mind. Right? He said that if a man looks upon a woman to lust after her, he have committed adultery already, right? Now, obviously, he's talking about a woman that's married, but in any case, it shows you the dangers of certain lusts. See, the word lust itself, lusting alone is not wicked. It's what you lust after, okay? If you lust after, you can lust after your own woman. She's your woman. But if you lust after another man's woman, now you're going off. The same way, if you go and touch another man's woman, you're going off. So, well, let's read that verse again. Because the Lord, it mentioned the lust after their heart.
Now, that was the chick that was laid out on the floor half naked. Yeah. Now he's walking like ain't nothing happened. I was gonna call an ambulance for him, but I was like, that's judgment. And look, he walked through smoking. He walked past smoking. So that's what got him in the predicament he in right now.
Verse 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
Through the lust of their own hearts, right? Because they started lusting after things that were displeasing to the Lord. So he said, these things, because what did the Most High say? We were a holy people, right? The law, statutes, and commandments, the ways of the Lord separated us and made us holy. And yet Jacob kept lusting after the things of these other nations, which would make us common. And so the Lord said, you want to be like them so much, you want to follow these ways, go ahead. And deal with whatever else comes with it.
Since you said that, I'll finish off the verse. It says, verse 24 again, it says, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Now this is the NLT. So the Most High abandoned them to do whatever shameful things their hearts desired. As a result, they did vile and degrading things with each other's bodies. So like you're saying, the Most High was like, okay, you want it? I'm going to leave. I'm going to stop pulling you away. I'm just to let you go.
Show you how wicked Jake is, man. Now, I mean, obviously everything is the Most High's doing, but the fact that when the Most High left you alone, this is where you ended up, going into vile affections, is going to go into it. You know? And this is what Jake lusted to do. How the hell, no wonder we're cursed people, man. How the hell can the chosen people of the Lord lust to do these wicked, filthy acts? This is why the Most High is going to bring the judgment that he's going to bring. He needs to bring that discipline. God, let's finish up this real quick and then I'll bring that up. Go ahead.
This is verse 25. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever among. For this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affection.
So what business you got complaining? Like it says in the book of Malachi, they have said, wherein hast thou loved us? What you mean, wherein hast thou loved us? I mean, it's because of, what's that scripture? It says, our sins have separated us from the Most High. You know? Yeah. But, I mean, we don't got to get it, but the point is, the Most High didn't just say, oh, this is what I want to do. But he said, you guys left me no choice. And the Most High didn't just it's not like the first time we did something, he was like, all right, whatever, I'm done. No. It was a constant back and forth to the point where the Most High got fed up. And that's why now he's only dealing with the elect.
Also, just to add a little point, he also explains that in second Ezra, the first chapter, where he complains about how Israel always going on. He says, "We have not forsaken me, but forsaken the whole soul."
Yep. Yeah, it's a sad chapter, man, because like the Most High, they tell me, I mean, this is the Most High. He's like, look, he's telling us, he's like, what's wrong with these people? Like, I'm the Most High, and I'm pissed off because what haven't I done for them? I've reproved kings for their sakes. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. Name something I haven't done for them. And mind you, these things I've done for them, I have not done for any other nation. And yet these people are still not satisfied, still not enough for them.
Just like a man is woman, like, I've done all this for you. I've done anything, everything for you. You still not happy. You still complaining in my head. Just like the relationship with a man and a woman.
Right. Hey, I saw a video of a man. He was recording himself. I think it was on Facebook Live or something. And he basically, I think he had a hammer in his hand. He was talking about how he just took out his woman and took out the man that she was cheating on him with. And he was saying, look, man, you women out here, man, y'all gotta stop doing this to these men. He said, I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person, man. He said, I've been taking care of this chick since she was young, paid for her school. I worked 3 jobs to take care of her and do all of that. And I come home, the freaking candles on and freaking rose petals and shit. And I don't know if he was getting oral with her in the bathroom or she was getting oral with him. He didn't give a fuck. Somebody got hit in the head with a hammer. Somebody was in the bathtub. Somebody was somewhere else. She got electrified. Well, shit. But the scriptures say jealousy is the rage of a man. So like he said, I did everything for this chick. You know? And really, that's the thing, right? The loyalty of a woman doesn't come from you doing everything for her. Okay? Society in itself has turned women in a way where even if you do all the right things, it's still, that's why the scriptures warn you straightly in the book of Sirach. It says, it talks about your daughter, but you can apply the same thing to your woman. It says, watch over her. You know, don't give her liberty to gad abroad. You gotta know your woman. Okay? But you gotta know your woman, man, because if you give them that freedom, it's either you the controller or society's the controller. All right. Once you let go of that, you give that to her. She's gonna go and give it to society and say, "Hey, control me, push my buttons. What do I do?" And society's gonna tell her, "Oh, come on, let's go here." Okay. You don't gotta tell your man that. Oh, you don't gotta tell your man. And she's gonna start getting that influence. So you gotta be on your woman. And society will say that, "Oh, you're insecure. Oh, you're controlling. Oh, you're toxically masculine." According to their definition, yeah, they made that shit up. But you gotta be like that, because if you're not, and you're not alert, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much, you might as well just be by yourself. Okay? And if she don't like it, then she can kick rocks.
Because
Barefoot.
to the point, I forgot which chapter it was. If it was not Proverbs, the 5th chapter, Proverbs 7th chapter, basically likens, these wicked philosophers unto a woman.
Yeah.
And the way King Solomon explains it, the way she's like, "Oh, I got a good man who's away, and I prepared the bed, the aloes and the cinnamons and the silk from Egypt or whatever." And the way the woman is talking to the man, she's persuading him and she's talking to him very nicely to get his mind. And that's how these philosophies get you. Like if you ever listen to some, because I actually meditated before we came here at home about this. I actually read it a little bit. If you ever listen to people like Les Brown or like Eric Thomas, if you listen to them, they get you amped up and hyped. They feed into your ego. Like what did Eric Thomas say all the time? When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. They tell you all these things that get you amped up and feed into temporary. Yeah. And that's how these philosophers come to you. They come to you nice, they come to feed your ego. And then what? They lead you into something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They make you feel like you're getting so deep. You're deeper than deep. You put the EE in deep. You know what I'm saying? Like you all I got the that's what gets Jake all messed up, because they become like the other Manat Zakbar said, a blender, where they think that the key to deepness the key to deepness is you got to get a little bit from every group. You know, if this group only got this and they only got this, if I take both of them, like gathering the Infinity Stones, I could become like Thanos, you know, and I could have the deepness of deepness. And then they get bugged out.
That's what's wrong with these other camps, because they believe that, you take a little bit from IUIC and a little bit from HOI and a little bit from Shikari, then you boil it all together, we get a stronger. No, that's not how it go, man. You got to deal with 100% truth, man. And we are under the umbrella of GMS, and we believe that we only come with the uncut, unadulterated truth, man. And that's why when they go down the line, and when you think of all the other camps, they be like, oh nah, GMS, we the underrated, but you know the underrated might be the undisputed, you know.
Yeah.
We are the underestimated. You know, when you underestimate your opponent, you wind up losing. Because when we come out here with this truth, it's all the way totally different than what everybody else is teaching. But it gotta be something, and that's the same thing that Yahweh Shah came with.
Yeah.
He came with a whole totally different doctrine than everybody on the face of this earth. And they looked at him as the ops, because he was saying something that wasn't pleasing to the rest of the community, to the rest of all the other churches out there.
Well, that's why they try to frame him, or they didn't try to frame him. They set up false witnesses and put him to death. And that's why they got that same animosity and hatred towards us. But that's all right, because the truth is the truth, and it doesn't matter what you do or how you feel about it. That's one thing about the truth. The truth is unchangeable. It doesn't matter who or what or how you feel about it. It will never change the truth.
No
You can stand
compromise.
there and say 2 + 2 is 4. I hate it. I don't want that to be the case. It doesn't matter. 2 + 2 will always be 4. You can say, oh, you guys are not the Israelites. You can be. You guys are a hate group. That will not actually change the fact of what the truth is. And that's why it says in Romans the 3rd chapter that what? For what if some did not believe? You know, shall your unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. It doesn't matter what you believe. What matters is what the truth is. So you either believe the truth or you believe a lie. The only person that's really going to affect is you. You say, oh, I don't believe what you guys are teaching. I don't believe the warnings you guys are giving. You know, so I'm gonna go ahead and do something else with my life. Okay, well, go ahead and do something else with your life. But guess what? When the missiles fly, you gonna get hit. Like there was that prank video of you know, the prank of the nuclear missiles about to hit, and you had Jake all up sitting in their living room, all stressed out.
World War III done struck.
So somebody put a comment, he said, big girl stood up. Which she did. When she heard that, she said, boy, shut up. And boy, he said he was gonna blast him. I heard it in the news. And she sitting there waiting and shit. And then they said, when they listed the locations in which the missiles were gonna hit, the second they listed their location, they all got up. You know, like they were gonna go somewhere. Where the hell you gonna go? You might as well sit back down. You know? Because see, that's when the moment of realization is gonna set in that you have no power to do anything. When they announced that Russia has launched such and such missiles and they're gonna hit your location in 13 minutes, the only thing you can do is pray. Because are you gonna get in the car and drive from New York to California? Are you gonna drive to Nevada? Are you gonna drive on the water? Are you gonna go underground? Where are you gonna go? You ain't gonna go nowhere. You ain't gonna know what to do. You're gonna try to call up family. Eventually you're gonna realize that you're in denial and ain't nothing that's gonna be oh shit, close. But
Babylon just announced one of their new stealth bombers that carry nuclear missiles, and it looked just like a chariot, man. They knew stealth bomber looked just like a chariot, man. Like one of the so-called flying saucers. They knew, and you know why they said that they introducing this now to the world? Because they like, yo, China just displayed some capabilities that, you know, they are demonstrating and practicing missile testing. This is ABC News this morning. They like, yo, we gotta show the world that we got capabilities too. But it ain't about no China, man. It ain't about no China. The way this damn vehicle is designed is to try to combat when Yahweh Shah come back with his chariots, the real chariots. All right? So they trying to flex their might like they a superpower still, but they the weakest link, man. The Lord said that in Obadiah, man. The lowest of the heathen, man. What they trying to do is just trying to bring out the fact that, okay, yeah, we got capabilities, but it ain't about fighting those other nations. Because in all actuality, they all together, man. Only ones that's really they're gonna have to fight with to bring out World War III is the Medes, and that's Russia. But at the end of the day, Trump was in the bed with Russia too.
The prophetic, in prophetic sense. 'Cause
Yeah,
you got people
prophetic.
they're gonna say, oh, the Medes, oh, you said the Medes are the Russians. In prophetic sense, all right?
Right.
We know that the Medes are obviously the by nationality that's Japhet, but when you read in scriptures like Isaiah
God
13,
can make God.
prophetically, when it talks about the Medes, it's referring to the Russians in prophecy. Yeah, you gotta put that out there for Jake, man, because you know how Jake get.
They ready to
Take anything and run with it.
take any stumbling block.
Like I said,
in.
we're talking.
That's a stumbling block on y'all though, because if y'all think that I'm stumbling on what I'm saying, really, when you try to catch GMS or all the people that fall under the umbrella of GMS, all y'all doing is just acting like scoffers. And y'all are part of that universal camp situation that we even started talking about in the first place, because y'all coming with this side of the different philosophies, man. Y'all drunk of the cup.
But yeah, let's get back to the scripture. Let's bring
Romans chapter 1 verse 27. And likewise also men leaving the natural use of the woman.
So you hear that, right? So men, what's the natural use of a woman? Now it says men, right? It says men were leaving the natural use of a woman. So what is the natural use of a woman to a man? What happens when a man and a woman are in a room by themselves? There is a natural use, which is for the man to plant a seed, okay, ultimately. And for her to be, obviously she takes care of you and so on and so forth, but we all know what happens when what happens, right? So she does that and then she gets pregnant and she bears children, right? So what do men do? It says they left that. So instead of laying with the woman as you should, be fruitful and multiply, what do they do?
It says, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one toward another.
Oh, they burned in their lust one toward another. So they left the use of the women and they started lusting after each other, men after men, working that which is unseemly. Right?
Men with men working that which is unseemly.
Can we look at that word unseemly? Because that's just complete. But what did the Lord say? He gave them up to uncleanness, right? So that's complete vile and unclean behavior, and that's a demon. Because in order for you to say you want to leave a woman and go to a man, that's a high level demon. That's demons, legions of demons that are on you. All right, and that's against nature. That's why the Apostle Paul said what? They left the natural use of the woman. But in this society, that's promoted. And that's why the Most High is going to bring judgment upon this place. Right? Yeah.
It says, definition says, unseemliness and unseemly deed of a woman's genitals. It says, of one's nakedness, shame.
What is the strong definition?
It says, and indecency by implication, the
Yeah. So, an indecency, right? So, now let's look in Google. Let's look up the word indecent in Google. Let's see. Because usually they'll give you some synonyms and stuff like that. You know, which is good because it brings more clarity to the passage that you're reading. All right? But the Most High said that's unseemly. And the Most High also said that's an abomination. Shows you how wicked this place is, man.
It says, indecent, not conforming with generally accepted standards of behavior or propriety.
Right, and that's pretty much what the society is pushing. Oh, you don't have to conform to the really with the general accepted behaviors according to the biblical standard. Okay, that was the standard of the world. That's what the standard of the world should be. But society tells you, no, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta worry about that. You don't gotta live like that. You don't gotta think like that. You can be you. You be whoever you want to be. Don't let other people oppress you. And when they do that, they blur the lines between what's right and wrong. And they say there's no such thing as right and wrong. There's now a spectrum of wherever you fall on the spectrum. If you want to fall on this side, you want to fall on that side, be yourself. No, the Most High don't want you as you are. Fix yourself up. First off, so show you how hypocritical these people are, right? Nobody in the world lives a life of I just take everything as it is. I'm gonna take it as it comes. No, you ain't. If you see, if you go to look for a woman, right? There's a certain kind of woman that you got in your mind. So if you went looking for a woman and your type is like, I don't know, light-skinned chicks, you know, slim, thick, nice features, long hair, pretty face, and then you go and they tell you, well, let's hit you with the take it, come as you are. So you talk to this chick and she describes herself as this nice, beautiful chick. Her profile picture is that. But when you see her in real life, she tell you, well, I'm coming as I am. She got two strands of hair, one here and one right here, and everything else is just patches, right? She got a triple chin, a quadruple chin. She's all big and shit. You can't tell if she's a man or a chick. She looks like a barrel, like just straight up. She got like 3 truck tires in the midsection. She's hairier than you. Her chest got hairs. You know what I'm saying? She's missing 2 front teeth. All right, got an eye patch. In any case, she comes up to you, breath all hot. You know what I mean? Dressed all crazy and shit. And she's coming to you and she's telling you, oh, I'm coming as I am. You're gonna take me as I am, right? Now you gotta ask yourself, what individual is gonna go in looking for this nice Brazilian model-ish looking chick, and he's gonna see this Sharkeisha over here, and he's gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna take you as you are. You know, come as you are. See, that's the bullshit, because you want to go to the Most High like that. You want to say, oh Lord, you gotta accept me as I am, but you ain't gonna accept her as she is. If she came to you telling her, I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Let's get married tomorrow. You think dudes is gonna stand there and accept that? No, you ain't. And it's the same. Another example is if you go to a restaurant and you go on the menu and you see what you want, you tell them I want this, and I want it well done. And they bring you a big slab of red, bloody steak, uncooked, and they throw some salt on that shit and they tell you, here you go, here's your order. And then are you gonna say, well, I mean, I gotta take it as it is? All they gotta do is pull the come as you are card. They put a little receipt next to it that says come as you are, and then now you gotta deal with that. No, people get mad as hell. You know?
Hey, Jake just killed somebody over ordering some cold fries. Remember? In McDonald's?
Yeah.
You shot him up. You shot somebody dead over cold fries. You think you're gonna accept something that you're not pleased with? That when you got the control over it, where you can say hell no. You said you look like Janet Jackson. You look more like Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, that's on Friday.
No.
Oh.
Come on. The Lord is the same way. Like, no. You said you was gonna get right, and this is what you call getting right.
Shit, Freddie Jackson. Hey, but guess what? You get mad as hell at that, right? Now, if Freddie told you, well, I'm coming as I'm actually not even a chick. I'm coming as I am. If Freddie told you that, you would get upset. But you want to go to the Most High as you are, and then he got to accept you. Oh, no, you know what? Well, you pulled the as you are card. See the hypocrisy in people. How can I serve a God that I was watching the show. You got this chick. She's a so-called Christian or whatnot, and she every 2 seconds, oh, but God, what to do? God. She had a baby. Come to find out that the baby was had this like symptom or syndrome or defect where their bones were breaking, right? So the baby's bones were breaking. The baby wasn't really going to live. She was going to have the baby. Was going to die and shit. Now she all messed up in the head. She's like, this is so unjust, and how can a just God and do this, and this is he can't deceive me like this, and this feels wrong. And I'm like, bitch, that's because you got your own, you put the Most High in the box, right? Because I want to serve a just God, a God that only does good, that means the Most High has to be God that only does good. So when he does evil, I start to lose my mind because the Most High can never do evil. Wait, the Most High can't hate, but you can hate? See the hypocrisy? No, God ain't supposed to hate, but I can hate whoever the hell I want to hate. God is supposed to take me as I am, but I don't got to take you as you are. I want God to forgive me, but I ain't going to forgive you. what? You see what's wrong with our people? You see? But let's go back. Let's go back to what we had to do. We're dealing with work on me, right? Go ahead.
When we go back to the word.
No, the scripture. Yeah, probably.
Verse 27, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman burn in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly.
So what do you think that means? Men leaving a woman to burn in their lust, men with men. And the Apostle Paul said it was what? Unseemly. So the Apostle Paul wasn't down with that. So you got a lot of people who is, oh, the Apostle Paul, oh, the Apostle Paul. But he's telling you where he stands on that. Go on.
And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
Yeah, that recompense of their error which was meet, meaning that the judgment they got for that was righteous. It was according. That's why a lot of them are coming get these different diseases and so on and so forth, man. Your rear cavity is meant for excretion. That's it. That's his job, excrete. All right. There's more. And also, you got people. First off, that's why it's a good thing that the scriptures talk about that. The scriptures talk about what happens when a man lays down with another man. You ain't supposed to do that. But in addition, the scriptures also talk about sodomy. Okay, it talks about sodomy. And people, whenever they think of sodomy, you think of a sodomite, immediately you think of a mope. But a sodomite can also be somebody that's not a mope. Because sodomy is when you go into the rear end of another person. So you can go into the rear end, you can pop your woman in the rear, that's sodomy, and you ain't supposed to, that's going on. So you think, oh, well, he's dealing with a woman, but no, it's about how you're dealing with the woman. So you can't, it's not every hole that you can go in. You can't plug every hole. You can't piece every puzzle. All right? Certain places are forbidden. There's the forbidden zone. You can't pop a woman, you can't deal with a woman, you cannot go into her reverse zone. That's going off. That you are a sodomite if you pop a woman in the rear. That's what sodomy means. People gloss over that, but that's still a part of the law.
Just to let it be known, it never happened to me, but I'm just saying, I talked to somebody, I talked to somebody once, and you'll be very surprised. Some men, what the brother was explaining, goes for you women as well. Don't be putting your finger in your man's in the backside. Because there's some men that are actually into that. And I talked to somebody, it's like, I'm gonna tell other people, it's like,
Yo, there was a video, I forgot where I saw it, or I didn't see it, but I think it either showed up on the timeline somewhere, and it was like a few seconds, and the dude started opening his mouth, and all I heard was gnashes. And the second I heard that, I was like, hey, yo, I turned that shit off quick. Dude said, oh God. He said, oh, you know, I don't think that it's sodomistic. I'm using that word to replace it. You know, if a man, or you know, if you get a finger put in your rear, because it's just giving you pleasure, and you can get the same way you can get pleasure from a woman, you just get pleasure. So it's not sodomistic. I ain't really dealing with another man. I didn't even go as far as to hear his reasoning. The second you see shit like that, you put curses on the dude and you keep pushing, man. And it shows you, and of course, who's it gonna be? Jake. It's gonna be Jake. You ain't gonna see a Rothschild pop up and talk about, yeah, well, sometimes I tell Evelyn, you know what I'm saying, push the red button. No.
They like using that word metrosexual. I ain't no such thing as metrosexual.
Only Metro is a Metro North, and that's it.
Ain't no such thing as metrosexual. So if you get your nails done, or if you go in there with your girl and you get a mani and a pedi, that you going off, man. I don't care how you know how some people be acting like, yeah, I'm a pretty boy. The whole word pretty boy sound crazy, man.
Well, to be clear, let me put it like this. I ain't seen no law. Let's take that back a bit, right? First off, if you are, let's put it this way, if you are flamboyant, you doing feminine tendencies,
that's the word.
Then you going off,
that's
right?
the
Let's
word.
put it like that, because you got
nail polish.
There you go. See, now that's going on.
Yeah,
you know,
nah.
Because you're gonna have you know, Jake might say, okay, well, I went to this Moabite lady and she cleaned my hands or she cleaned my feet. Am I going off, brother? Somebody's gonna put that on a comment
Yeah,
board.
that's true.
So you just gotta
That's
clarify for Jake.
Yeah.
You got Jake
Nah,
that go
I
in
ain't
there.
gonna say that.
They come out with if you come out with your fingernails painted and shit, you
Yeah.
doing all that shit.
That's
That's the issue.
mainly what I was saying, cause you know, Jake doing that now in the name of whatever, but it's like black nail paint. I don't know if it was 21 Savage or one of them. So one of them guys said that y'all gonna really think I'm
Young
gay.
Buck?
Yeah, it was him that did the black.
Oh, okay. He said y'all really gonna think I'm gay now, but the nigga had nail polish, a color, not clear, none of that. Like you had a color on, so you know that's the wrong image you want to paint, man, towards y'all people, man.
Well, that's how a lot
Young
of these
Thug,
people
you know,
really are.
wearing dresses and ASAP Ferg, just cause in the name of fashion. No, man.
In December?
You going in the way of the heathen, man. When you teaching your young boys that's how it is. Or that's what's up. Y'all fashion is not our fashion from back in the 90s or whatever, but you know, it's still metrosexual, man. It's not what we consider as lawful, man. Y'all wearing, even though women not supposed to wear pants, y'all wearing like capris and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like NBA, they dress with no socks and a high water. It just feels like a feminine vibration when you trying to cater to Esau's level of fashion, because they already the sodomite. They already the ones who trying to dress like their counterparts, man. They wearing blouses and stuff, man. So when you try to act like that's in fashion, because that's what they level of standard of fashion is, you going off.
Done. Let's bring out the scriptures. Brothers want to say something? Raise your hand too, so we can bring out the scriptures. Right?
That's it.
So let's jump into Proverbs. Because you brought up a good point, actually. You mentioned how in Proverbs, I think it's 5th chapter. Fine. Well, it's really both, but you can check the 5th chapter. I think that might be where it starts. Yeah, 5th chapter. And it's actually good, right? Because, like you said, it's funny because on the right hand, wisdom is likened onto a woman. And on the left hand, philosophy is also likened onto a woman because of their seductive nature. See, that's the thing, right? Women are actually very, very conniving. That's a trait the Lord gave women. Because a woman doesn't have that strength like a man, right? She's not like a bull or an ox. But look at a snake, for example. A snake can take out a bull or an ox if it's, cunning enough, because it can go undetected. So women, if you take a look at, what's that? First Ezra, the 3rd or 4th chapter, Zerubbabel mentioned to the king, Darius, and he mentioned, first he said women are the strongest, then he said above them is the truth. And his reason was, matter of fact, let's see if we can find that. When you know what I'm talking about, right? Because a woman, it's funny, right? A woman is not physically strong, and yet she can have so much control and power over somebody that is physically strong. You can go and find a kingdom where the one that's truly ruled this queen, this woman, or this princess or whatever. Because she's controlling her man. She got this dude on autopilot and shit. So that is an ability that they've been given. How do you think Delilah got Samson? She used that feminine nagging and emotional side and crying and knowing how to tap into a man's emotions. Because if a dude got a soft spot for a chick, she can use that and play on that. I've seen a video of a chick on the phone, fake crying. Her friend was recording her. She was on the phone, fake crying, tears and everything. And when she hung up, she put a smile on. She wiped her tears and shit.
Dang.
They know how to do that. But while you look for it, let's start again. So that's why you got to be careful. The same way you got to watch these women, you got to watch these philosophers. Yeah, 5th chapter starts us out.
This is Proverbs 5:1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding.
Got it? Alright, let's put that out real quick.
Okay. This is First Ezra chapter 4, verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O ye men, is it not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth.
Right, because the previous individuals, one said that the king was the strongest, and the other one said that the wine was the strongest. And they both had good reasoning, but he's going into that. He's saying, no, it's not the king and it's not wine. I'm going to tell you why.
Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath lordship over them? Are they not women?
Are they not women? Hear me out. Go ahead.
Women have borne the king, and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh.
Don't let the feminists get the scripture. You don't see? Men came from women. That's the end of it.
But they already said that though. Like, you came from a woman, how you gonna talk like that? Son?
No, it's in your book. It's in your book. Get out of here with that, man. Got it.
Verse 17. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men. And without women cannot men be.
Right. But see, Zerubbabel, now I don't know if Zerubbabel was not simping, but he was making a point to his answer. He was gonna say something.
Oh no, I was gonna say, see, if they never say without women cannot men be. That's it.
Oh. That's it, right? Yeah, man. They. But when you understand that, first off, that's what they're supposed to do. Then it's not anything extra. But society has made it so where women, a woman being a woman, this is how you know how society is going. When a woman being a woman is a surprise, you get shocked when a woman is feminine. You gotta think twice. She Asian? Is she acting? You know? Because all the women I'm used to, they all frolic and ratchet and shit. Always want to fight. Always want to argue. Look, man. I was telling one of my friends, female nature is an interesting thing because behind the mask, all women are the same. And you know that's true because how is it that you can go to a room, you go to a bar, a room, a club, and you got dudes there, you want to have common ground, talk about a woman. And if you speak the truth about their nature, everybody in there is going to agree. The second you say one thing, yo man, she be trying, oh my God, bro, I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. She always trying to do this. Sometimes I'm just there. She just trying to pick a fight. She's trying to do because they all act the same. Because that's their genetic design. All right. Now, I mean, they are slightly different, but by nature, is a certain design as to how a woman is. Hence, we have the term woman. You wouldn't have a term to categorize all of this gender as one if there wasn't something common between them all, right?
What's that? King Solomon, he said, for the men, out of 1,000 I found one, meaning that there's a couple of different righteous men. So there's going to be a few men that's different. But out of the women that 1,000 said, they're all out of 1,000 I found none.
Yeah. And he knew. He had different kinds of women. But you can tell, he had to see, he's like, yeah, I thought you were different, but no, you're not. You know, because that's how they design it. But you know society is falling off when you are shocked to see a woman be feminine. You know, and it's like every day you're expecting, you know it's coming. You're expecting it to happen. You know, this is not gonna last. This ain't gonna last. Give it a few months. Let her show her true colors. Because some women are just good at it. They're just good at hiding it. You know, they're good at putting the mask on. But after they get comfortable, then that shit comes off, mask off, like Future said. Then you tell her, fuck it, put the mask on. I ain't trying to do with this mask on shit. Right?
Verse 18, yea, if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely and fair and beautiful?
Yeah, because think about it, right? A lot of these dudes who walk around without goals in mind, and like, you know, young kids and stuff like that, ask the dude, yo, why are you getting all these fresh ass lineups and these cuts, trying to be the flyest guy in the world coming to school? Are you here to learn, or are you here to look like Mr. Fly Guy? Why are they doing all that? You know, why do they want to flaunt money? Why do they want to take pictures with guns and act all gangster? Why is it that you can have a group of guys over there, right, just chilling, and then the second there's women around, somebody got to be the tough guy. All of a sudden, there's always that one friend at a party. There's even memes on it. That one friend at a party who, whenever women are around, he tries to act tough. You know, you just say, yo, what you talking about, man? Just all for what? For women. They do all of these things because they wanna appeal, they wanna look good because women are around. Almost like you gotta prove something. But a real man don't gotta prove nothing. You just be yourself. Right?
Verse 19, and letting all those things go, do they not gape and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her?
Right, and that's very accurate, right? You see a chick, you see a bad, fine ass chick. There you go. Like was it Friday? I haven't watched the movie, but there was that scene where him and Ice Cube, they saw that chick or whatever they saw. They
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
Miss Parker, Miss Parker. Damn.
But that's what he's talking about. That's the modern day example of that. You see a fine chick, and that's why in the Apocrypha in the book of Sirach, it tells you, stumble not upon the beauty of a woman, desire her not for pleasure. Now that doesn't mean you see a chick, go look for an ugly chick. No. What it means is, don't, because you got people that get stupid, right? They see a beautiful woman and they get stupid. They lose their sense of thinking. Oh, she's so good. They start drooling and shit.
They show in the cartoon. I don't know if you've ever seen that cartoon with the rabbit and the chick who's named Jessica Rabbit. And the rabbit, there was a chick who's not named, I think her name is Jessica Rabbit. She was like, she would wear all red, and there was a rabbit that loved her. And when he saw it, he was, and his heart was going like this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Roger Rabbit.
Oh, that's
Roger.
Roger.
Yeah, but that's exactly what. Don't stumble at the beauty of a woman, because the second she notices that, you done. She got you like this and she didn't even say one word. She says, go over there, go lay down, let the truck run over you. That's my queen. You know what I mean? Go on.
Continue. And have not all men more desire unto her than unto gold, or unto silver or gold,
Right?
or any goodly thing whatsoever?
Because if you show a dude, all right, majority of the time, you say, look, I give you this gold bar, or I'll give you this fine ass chick. I'll give you Kim Kardashian in her prime if she was natural, and she was a virgin, and she was humble, and she was just fine, youthful, beautiful, fresh, just looking at you. That gold bar or her, you gonna have to. Damn, man, and they gonna walk right. You know what I'm saying? Shit, especially. Put her in like nicely dressed. You know, show them some pictures of her in different poses. He ain't even gonna see the gold bar. That's just gonna look like a stone or a brick to him. You know? Go ahead.
Says, verse 20, a man heareth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remember neither father nor mother nor country.
Yeah, because that's what happens, right? When you grow and you get a wife, she becomes your new quote unquote immediate family, right? You live with her, you take care of, you know, that becomes your quote unquote immediate family, and then your parents become more secondary now. As where when you were younger, your parents were more primary, right? But that's the thing, that's the design that the Lord set up between the dynamic of a man and a woman. A man is created to have desire onto a woman, but not to the point where he gives his strength over onto her. And now he can't function. Look, man, why do you think dudes can get so stressed out? You could be the chillest, cool as a cucumber type dude, just unbothered. And yet, your woman can just piss you off and stress you out so much. You know, where you just think about, like, what in God's world is wrong with this creature, man? Why would you ever think that was okay or even a good idea to do? You know? Go ahead.
Actually, quick testimony, since you mentioned that, something happened the other day with my mother, right? So I'm brothers know I'm quiet, I don't say much, silent. Even Elder Zion once said, he don't even joke about it. He said, that brother's like a stone statue. He don't say nothing unless you talk to him. So my mother did some weird shit. She bought something on Amazon. She told me to buy something from Amazon, right? I'm not going to get the details of what it is. And I'm like, okay, all right, I bought it. She's asking me, like, what do you think? I'm like, listen, I already done know how you are. I don't ask you for your input because you don't listen to what I got to say. You don't even sit down, so you're not going to listen to me. So then she's like, okay, buy this also that almost costs like $200. I'm black. I'm like, what is going on with you up there? Like, you just told me to buy this. Now you want me to buy that. And she had like this blank face. I'm like, damn, like, why do you not? Because I'm like, yo, what
wrong with you? But like he explained, like I had that moment where I'm like I'm a quiet person, but then now I'm not being disrespectful to my mother, but I'm like, you just told me to buy this, some little small amount of money, but now something that costs almost $200, and it's like, what is wrong with you? And I go from being this chill person to it's just like, damn, like if you were there, like, damn, I thought he was quiet.
No, you're absolutely right. Sometimes, but now take that feeling, right, and imagine going through that times a very large amount on a very day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis. That's how the Most High feels, you know. Where he's like, you done cried unto me. You in captivity. You cried unto me. I delivered you. You said we're gonna worship you. We're gonna serve you, Lord. We're not gonna do this again. And literally, in the book of Judges, it tells you that. When you read the book of Judges, you're gonna get pretty pissed off when you read, okay, and the children of Israel went into captivity under the Midianites, and the Lord raised up a judge, and the judge delivered them, and then the judge said, are you gonna serve the Most High? He said, yes. And then the judge died, and they turned around and went back to wickedness. Then the Most High put them in captivity, cried unto the Lord, and he just looking at it, and he's like, wow, again, and again, and again, and again. How do you expect the Most High not to get pissed off?
Well, the worst one was Ezra. Immediately they got him captivity.
Oh, yeah.
And Ezra ripped his head, and I think it was like, I forgot how I was worded, but it's like, how can I go into the Most High after like we just got out of captivity?
Yep.
Like not even like a year, like just got out, and they did something stupid. Ezra started pulling, it's like, yo, we're done.
Yeah, he went before the Lord. He said, Lord, I don't even know how do I begin to even say anything to you. You know, it's like if you, all right, let's put it like this, right? You say something like, I don't know, there's a sign that says no smoking, right? There's no smoking sign over there. You come in there, and then you tell the employee, wait 1 second, let me find out the directions or whatever the case is. You come back, and there's a cop midway arresting him because he said he was smoking, and there's no smoking sign there. And then you say, wait, hold on, no, it's a misunderstanding, my fault. And you trying to explain to the cop and get this guy off. And in the middle of you doing that, dude throws away the cigarette, pulls out another one, lights it up, and starts smoking and blows it into the cop. And then while you in the midst of trying to, work with the officer so that this guy don't get arrested, he just pulled out another cigarette and he's smoking it again, right in front of the no smoking sign. That's pretty much like what the position he was in. So at that point, you stop. He said, well, I'll help you arrest his ass at this point. You know? But that's pretty much how we feel now. We're like, at this point, man, Lord, we understand. Give us the trigger. We'll pull it for you. You know what I mean? Like, you first come into the truth, you're like, damn, Lord, you really going to kill all these people? That was Jeremiah when he was younger. And as he got older, he said, Lord, please don't forget, I want to hear screams from their houses. Don't forget this one, don't forget that one. Don't forget what he tried to do to me. You know? All right. Sorry. Oh, that was it, man? Oh, no, we got to move back there.
You want me to jump?
Keep reading.
First Ezra chapter 4, verse 22. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you.
Uh-huh.
Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman?
Yeah, see, because when a woman does something that she is supposed to do, society treats it as though she did something extraordinary. So you make necessities like a privilege. Things that she should do for you, you make it as though, oh, I'm lucky she did that for me. So what is she going to think? Oh, well, I can choose when to do this and when not to do this. And when you do that, you give her power. So now if she says, well, I ain't going to do it. Now you, instead of knowing that, wait, no, you're supposed to do this. Now you're at her mercy trying to find ways to please her so she doesn't. Go on.
Verse 23. Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness. And when he had stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth to his love.
Right, basically meaning a man would do anything for his woman. He would hazard his life for his woman. Go on.
That's like pretty much the most side is going to do for us. He's going to do anything.
Yeah. That's right.
Verse 25, wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
There you go.
Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes.
Hey, see? They have ran out their wits. Well, hey, think about Jacob. Now, I'm not saying Jacob ran out his wits, but he served 14 years. Well, he served longer, but, you know, in terms of the agreement-wise, first he got played, but he ended up serving 14 years for a woman. And I was watching a video Pastor Harden on there. He said, look, 14 years, you see the chick, right? Saw her at the well. She's fine, she's good looking. Bro, 14 years later, do you know how much she's aged? Even still. You know what I'm saying? 7 years. Okay, 7 years is a lot. If she's 16, you do some quick math,
Yeah.
and you add 7 years to that, she's definitely gonna be in her 20s.
And he's
Probably not, early 20s, right? Okay, that's you know what I mean? That's time. Now you add another 7 years. If she was 23, she's gonna be 30. She's like, that's the way about. Damn, man. You know, but it goes to show how much he loved it and he was willing to do that. Not only was he willing to serve, because remember, he wasn't just waiting. He was serving Laban for 14 years, and he was having all that time taken off. You know, that 14 years, he was spent a good, you know, have a great time in 14 years.
But I think in the first 7 years, I remember the scripture saying, I can't remember how it's worded, but it says that those first 7 years when he thought he was going to get her, it was like nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
So it was like, oh, that's like, all right, Laban, where she at?
Man, you can imagine that night when he brought Leah instead of Rachel.
Oh yeah, he was going in. God, I waited 7 years for this. Finally, when he woke up in the morning, he saw it, he was like, fuck you with it.
I knew something was
All
up.
those 7 years?
Yeah, man. Oh, shoot. Nah, you can only
That's
imagine
probably
that.
why Leah probably wanted him to love her so much. Because like, you put the work on me. But it was like, I put the work in because I thought she was your sister.
That's it. She's looking for that first night. She's getting mandrakes and shit. Looking for that first, she's chasing that high. You know, but in any case, hey, but it goes to show you that what he said it was nothing. Working 7 years, man, you got people that got jobs they didn't even have for 7 years. But you working 7 years for a chick, he said it's like nothing. So it's very the way the Lord set up a man and a woman and the relationship between the two. That's why it says no man knows the way between a man and his mate, because the way the Lord set it up is just so interesting, you know, to say the least. Go on.
Verse 27, many also have perished many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him and Apameh, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Marticus, sitting at the right hand of the king.
Right, so he's dealing with the king. Now the king, man, you even look at the king. You even make eye contact with the king when you ain't supposed to. That's an issue, right? Now look at even the mightiest warrior ain't even going to disrespect the king like that. And listen to what this woman was able to do.
Verse 30, and taking the crown from the king's head.
Yo, shoot, I'm sorry, you did what now? She took the crown from the king's head. Go on.
And setting it upon her own head.
And she put it on her own head. Please tell me what man in the whole realm will try some shit like that and live? Come up to the king, hey, what's good, man? You see that shit? You put it on your head. Your head is going to be on a spike. All right, go on.
She also struck the king with her left hand.
She struck the king with her left hand. Go on.
And yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth.
Yeah. So he was sipping. And she must have looked real good. So with her looks and her appeal, she's able to do all these things. These are life-threatening incidents that if a man found himself in, he'd probably be executed publicly too at that. Go on. So what did she have that he didn't have? She was able to use her looks and his desire for her. She was able to use that to have power over him. So if she could do that, what kind of influence do you think she would have had on him? Hey, even on the situation with Esther and Ahasuerus, Esther did that. She did that to Ahasuerus, right? Xerxes, when she came, first off, she came to the hall, that area where she wasn't supposed to. And if he didn't raise the scepter or whatever, she would have been put to death. So that's number one, because the king favored her, and then she sweet talked him, spoke to him about Haman, set all these things up, and then when she finally told the king about what was bothering her, now Haman was basically the king's right hand man. But look at how quickly his mind turned against Haman. And when he came and he saw Haman, pleading to Esther, he said, "Oh, that's it, you done now. Come here." You know what I'm saying? So hey, like Zerubbabel was explaining, women have that about them, but they're only able to exert that when a man allows them to. If a man is solid, they're not going to be able to do that, because they're going to know their place. They're going to know, I can't play this with this guy. He sees right through me. If I try to come with that, that, oh, this, oh, that, or this, he already knows what's going on. So he ain't going to fall for it. So I got to just fall in line. And that's what a lot of women are going to realize in Jacob's trouble. See, at this time, they could do that. But in Jacob's trouble, they're not going to be able to. Because, first off, right now, a dude in his mind says, I got to split game to this chick. I got to take her out. I got to, treat her nice and all that so that she can give me, she can give me what I want. Right? But when the time comes, when all hell is breaking loose, and he stops, and he says, wait, what's stopping me from getting what I want? Well, today's society, you say, oh, she ain't giving it up, well, why don't you take it? Nigga, what you mean why I'm not taking it? I ain't trying to end up in jail. So I'm gonna just go with the safe route and I'm gonna sweeten her up, right? But when all hell breaks loose, and the dude goes back and revisits that mindset and says, wait a minute, why can't I just take it? And that's what a lot of people do, they just take it. So now when she realizes that, wait a minute, I don't have power over this guy because he can just take it. Then she gotta submit. Then she gotta go with the other card of, the crocodile tears, the crying, the pleading, and all of that. But in that time, the Lord is gonna have a cold spirit upon people. Because there's gonna be a lot of death going on, a lot of desperation, a lot of hunger. And there's the focus of somebody's mind is really based on desperation. Because when somebody is hungry, they don't have a desire for sex. They want to eat, right? That's like when you go on a fast. When you go on a fast, it doesn't matter if the chick is bad as hell. You don't, that fleshly lust side of you gets such a low energy that's the last thing you're thinking of. You start to feel apathetic, and you start to care less about these worldly desires. So when all hell is breaking loose and somebody hasn't eaten on 3, 4, 5 days, you may be bad as hell, but he may be looking at you as food first. Eat now, talk later.
This is Isaiah chapter 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat of our own bread and wear our own apparel, only lest us be called by thy name and take away our reproach.
So what day is that? And also the whole Micah 7 and 10. So what day is that 7 women, which 7 represents completion. So it could be 2 women, it could be 10 women, it could be 15, 20, 25, 30. It could be an innumerable amount of women, but they're gonna take hold of one man, meaning like in today's society, they're gonna fight. Shorty gonna say, oh hell no, I ain't doing that shit. Oh, he cheating on you. In that time, they're not gonna do that. Why? Today's society, what happens? What does she really have to lose if she thinks about it, right? Oh, he was talking to this other chick and I wasn't dealing with that. I got options. I'm gonna just go talk to this other guy. He been trying to holler at me for 3 years. I've been putting him on the whatever, but now I'm gonna go to him. But when that time comes, there ain't no such thing as options. Your father's dead, your brother's dead, your friends are gone. You've witnessed horrific things. You barely survived, and you finally come across somebody that can protect you, provide for you. You were hungry for going on 4 or 5 days, thought you were gonna die, and now you got food, and now you're fed, and now you're protected. You think that she's gonna want to lose all of that just because there's another woman in the picture? No. When you go to the store and there's food over there, or you go to the food pantry and you see other people over there, are you gonna say, well, because there's somebody else trying to come for this food, I'm leaving. Unless it's only for me and I don't gotta share, I ain't having it. No, that's not gonna be the case, right? So in that time, a woman ain't gonna say, oh, because this man got 2 women already with him, I don't want no part to this. She's gonna think about it. Okay, well, what are my options? I either get on board with this guy and the 3 other women that are with him, or I'll go out there and face Lee Johnson and his boys and his speed. They wait right around the corner. In today's society, what do? They catcall. When all hell breaks loose, they're not going to be calling. Okay? When they see you, that's it. You better hope you don't get seen. There's a movie, I forgot the name of it, but in the movie it was kind of like a zombie-ish, apocalyptic kind of thing. So it was less people alive, which means less. Huh?
Book of Eli?
Nah, not Book of Eli. It's some dude, I don't even know if he was wearing shades. He used to wear shades. And he had this like car.
Oh, Road Warrior. I mean, Mad Max.
No, it's not Mad Max. It's kind of like that, but it's not. He had this car that he used to drive, this one car, and he had he had chained a zombie inside of like a refrigerator, chained it together to the back of his car, and he would just be driving the area. He was just by himself. Yeah, he was a tough dude, man. He had like a shotgun with him, and he would always rock. And at the end, he came across like this girl, and he was cool and whatnot and all that.
Zombieland?
Maybe it might be that. I'm not too sure. I watched it. It was like a random flick, but there was a scene in there where he was hiding in one of these rooms, and he was looking outside. It was supposed to be like some negotiation or whatever, and it was between this chick and then these other dudes. Man, that chick was not it. All right, she was flatter than a white sheet of paper, and yet the dude was still on here like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Why was that? Because even though she wasn't like, a 10 or a dime, she was a woman, and in that world, that's all you had. So the brain chipped away all the things that he might not desire about her, and he said, look, I'll take what I get. So in that time, like in the Boondocks, who said that? It wasn't Fleece. It was the other dude, the leader of the gang, the bald-headed guy who was trying to negotiate. He said he was talking to Uncle Ruckus. When Uncle Ruckus started talking, he said, hey, shut up, nigga. He said, you ain't too fat and ugly to get raped. That's what he said to Uncle Ruckus. And Uncle Ruckus shut his ass up. But anyway, he was the bald, aggressive guy, and he was trying to negotiate. He's like, all right, we got the hostages now. What? And then so he was going back and forth with Huey, and Huey's like, well, now you got to negotiate because you got hostages, but what do you want? He's like, damn, I ain't even thinking about that. He said, all right, what fellas, what do you want? Yeah, he said, bitches.
Jail, right?
Yeah. He said, Brazilian bitches, Asian bitches, raw bad internet. And he's going back and forth, but the point is, what he said is what's going to be in the minds of these people. They're going to say, you don't care if you're an old lady. There was a story in the news where a dude raped like an old woman twice or 3 times. And she was calling. She was calling to the phone and she finally got some help. You look at, man, a dude like that, you're like, you sick as hell, man. What you doing with an old woman? Raping an old woman? What's wrong with you?
No, there's some young men that I've heard it say in a YouTube video. They say the older the berry, the sweeter the juice. So there's young men who said they've had older women. I remember it was a Jake. He had glasses. He said the older the berry, the sweeter the juice.
See, you asked the question, what are those times when all hell breaks loose?
Right.
And guess what? All hell is breaking loose right now. And these women, they got their preferences and they got their types.
Right.
But when that day comes, it ain't gonna be that type. It's gonna be those men of the Lord that they gonna be running to. And they gonna say, yo, we'll do everything on our own long as we under your name. Because once you under the men of the Lord name, the elect, you saved. You know what I'm saying? So these women out here acting all ratchet right now, but when the time comes, y'all gonna bow down accordingly.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Absolutely right. So you finished on that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Micah 7 and 10?
Just to answer your point with the women in that day, they're not going to buck up to join the man. Because something about women are social creatures. And if they see a whole bunch of other women, they're like, why are they all with him? What's this going about? Oh, they're going to feel like, oh, okay, if there's a whole bunch of people with him, he must be a strong man. He must be able to protect and provide.
Right.
I'm going to stay with him. Because women are social creatures. So they're not going to, in that day, they're not going to want to, sit there and say, I'm not going to be with him.
Right. She ain't gonna want to be alone. You're crazy as hell. Women right now, they get scared. What happens when a woman, he could be a stranger, he could have just met. Woman, I remember one time, years ago, I was coming home from work, taking the 4 train, and this happened to me twice, 2 occasions, 2 different women. And the 4 train stopped. And they were like, oh, everybody got to get off the 4. They basically stopped in the service for that day. I don't know what happened. So I'm like, oh damn. So I'm checking stuff on my phone or whatnot, and some chick comes up to me. She's like, oh, excuse me, you know, what's going on or whatnot. And I'm like, well, it looked like the service has stopped. So, you know, probably gotta. So I mean, in my mind, I was like, we probably gotta walk and then try to catch like, you know, the bus on the Concourse or something like that. She out here like, I'm like, you don't live here or something? Like, she looks all lost and shit. I'm sure you take this train on. She said, no, I do, but, you know, where are you gonna go? Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna walk to the Concourse and then take the bus over there, because, you know, I'm sure that's where I was gonna transfer from the train anyway. She's like, oh, okay, all right. So I start walking and I see her following me. I'm up the stairs, she up the stairs, and then I was walking down. She's like, wait, so you say you're taking this bus? Oh, that's the one I gotta take. And this whole time I'm walking, she was obviously within the same age group, but she was just short. And as we're going, she was like, every bus stop we get, she's like, is it this one? I'm like, no, it's the one ahead. Is it this one? They got to the point where I just started ignoring her. She will open her mouth and say, you're not gonna anything to me, are you? I said, whoa, yeah, man. She was like, I'm like, you're following me. And I'm like, the whole time I'm keeping my distance, and I'm walking, I know where I'm going. When she said that, I started walking faster. Now she starts trying to walk faster, trying to catch up. I'm like, yo, listen, you either
Trying to get away from
yeah, I'm like, you either gonna be quiet and we're gonna go to this stop, or you can stop at this stop and get on this bus. Now she's indecisive. I said, well, I can take this bus too, but I don't really know if I should. I was just walking. And she caught up, we got there, and then as we started getting closer, she recognized the place more. Now she's gonna get comfortable. Oh, this is what you was talking about. Oh yeah, I come here all the time, you know. I just started laughing at one time. We got there, you know, down the bus and everything. Never saw her again. But that was the first one. But a similar occasion happened on another case. Now, one thing I kept in my mind was, I said, Mom, what I look like? I mean, it was dark. We were walking, but I have no interest in doing anything you was wrong to. But not everybody's like me. And in the time when all hell was breaking loose, like in the TV show Black Summer, there was a scene where an old lady, she had like you know how things are tough, cars are not running, so if you have a car, that's good. So she had a van, and there was a dude that came to the window. He's like, please help me, these guys are coming after me, please, you just let me, where are you going? He's trying to negotiate with her and talk to her, and she was strong at first. She's like, no, I don't trust anybody. He's like, look, you're a Christian, right? I'm a Christian too. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Come on, just trust me. Just let me get in the car. So she unlocked the door. She got in the back seat. He said, all right, where are you going? I'm going the same way. My family's there. So he finally gets in there. He gets the keys. He stops for like a quick second. He like unlocks the door. And she's in the back seat. She's waiting for the car to go. She's like, please don't screw me over. He's like, get out the car. She's like, wait, what's that? Get out the car, bitch. She's like, wait, but you just, I said, get out the car. She got out the car and she lost her car right then and there. Because what? That's that naivety.
Yeah.
You know, her senses told her no, but her emotions, he played on that. Right? So it's the same kind of thing. That's one thing I kept in mind. I said, wait, you take this service all the time. You don't know what to do if the train is not working. You know where the concourse is. You know from here, if you walk up, you're going to go from 137, 138, 13, all the way. You're trying to go to 149, right? So you just keep going up, right? The second something happens unexpected, they lose all of that. It's all gone. And now they don't know what to do. See? So how much more, this is a train stop, how much more when all hell is breaking loose? There's fires over here. You're hearing gunshots over here. You know, people getting hit by cars. In the Purge, they show you that. Somebody comes full speed and hit you with a car. Some crazy dude is out here with a flamethrower, just running around. You know what I mean? He's just burning niggas and shit. Some dude he got a radio playing in his car, and he's going around picking up people and hanging them like a meat in the back of his van. So people going around with different agendas. You had people that were capturing people and putting them on like real life game shows, like death shows. You know, he's like, oh, if you win this, you win a brand new car, but if you lose, you die. We got him. Michael? Yeah. Let's get that. Yep.
Micah chapter 7 verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God?
Right, so then she that is my enemy shall see it, because a lot of them don't want to be friends in that time. See, as we step into 2023, So me and you said, forget it, man. As we enter into 2023, a lot of, what was it? I think going back to 2019, you had people joking, talking about, I'm just going to step right over 2020 into 2021. And we kept telling them that, first off, things are going to get progressively worse. So if you say I'm going to skip 2020 to 2021, that's like saying I'm going to take the video game from beginner to expert. Forget intermediary. I'm just going intermediate. I'm just going to jump to expert. As you go further in the years, things are going to get worse. You're going to jump into a year of hell, and you're going to be stuck there. And that's what's coming. As the years progress, they're about to start seeing some stuff, man. The Lord said it, right? Jeremiah 30:7, Daniel 12:1. So all hell is getting ready to break loose, and people are not prepared for all hell. They're not prepared for some hell. They're not even prepared to talk about hell. So when the Lord brings the hammer and He brings the chaos and the violence and the death, Ezekiel 9:5, people are going to lose their minds. Men are going to be like women. And what do you think women are going to be like? So let's finish on that.
Continue, already. Micah chapter 7, verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her.
Yeah, because when she said that from a standpoint of liberty. She had the liberty to say that. So when they said, Where is the Lord thy God? That's in a sense of, it culminates all the shit they talk. You know? Oh, you guys are saying this, you guys are still saying that, yeah, whatever. You guys are crazy. You know? You ain't no men of the Lord. You don't know what you're talking about. So go ahead and say, shame shall cover her, right? Now, what does it say in Isaiah 4:1? That they're going to want to be married unto a man to take away their reproach, which is shame. So they're not only are they going to be hurt and embarrassed, they're going to be uncomfortable. You gotta pay attention to the little details here, right? In Jacob's trouble, you're not going to have free showers, right? Because your water system is connected electrically. So when that goes out, ain't no water for you. How are you going to use the bathroom? You can't flush the toilet. What water are you going to use to brush your teeth? When a woman gets her period, what is she going to do? How is she going? Because that blood is going to keep coming. That blood is going to drip. One pair of pants that you ran out your house with, and now you catch your period, and it's cold outside. And it's dripping on you. It's messing up your pants. What are you going to do?
And not only that, a woman only get like 1 or 2 days before their vagina starts stinking.
No.
So after 2 days, your ass, just imagine a week without washing up.
Infection.
Your shit gonna smell like garbage truck juice. 1 week, a woman can't go 2 days. Like you got a woman who don't wash up in over 3 days, she's dirty.
That one chick, she said that she don't shower in like 3 days. B. Simone.
Yeah.
She said if she don't take a shower Monday, she probably don't take it till like Thursday.
Oh no,
She's a comedian. Look up B. Simone. Look it up.
Well, that better be a joke because
If she's serious, that shit is
It could be a
disgusting.
joke, but there are some women that are like that. They don't take showers.
But all I'm saying is laying back up what the brother's saying, when the grid is down, ain't no water, period, you can't clean that.
yeah,
It's shameful.
Yeah,
It's shameful.
No,
They can have that high mind because they look pretty right now, and the clothing and the perfumes hide that. But when now you're exposed and now your clothes slip up, like you mentioned, period blood, you haven't washed up for a week or however long. Now it's like you're not gonna feel it because a woman's confidence is what? How she looks, her appearance. That's why they're so into how they look. But now when they look like shit, they're not gonna be able to look at you in the eye and be like, yeah, nigga, I'm the bitch. You fuck with a real. No, they're gonna be like, their head down.
Yeah. If when a woman, like, first, think about it, right? What would happen if you first start talking to a chick? She's fond of you, right? And you randomly show up at her crib at like 6 a.m. and she just woke up. You think she gonna want to come downstairs and see you? What's the first thing they try to do? Wait, no. She gonna run down the stairs, tell her mom, wait, tell her to hold on. And she gonna run, wash her face, and do all that before she tries to even come and see you. Oh, you shouldn't see me like this, I just woke up. You know? And all of that. They don't want to see you when they look ugly because they feel embarrassed. So like you were saying, what is gonna happen happen when they haven't showered in so long, when they smell bad. And look, it don't matter how pretty a chick is, man. Hygiene is a very, very big factor. If you talking to a chick and you catch a whiff of something, she says, hi. And that breath come out like boom, boom, boom. You know, you out here, oh shit. You can't see straight, you see double of her and shit. You ain't gonna want it.
SpongeBob shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that SpongeBob shit. Now that breath really came out boxing people, but when you see that, no. You ain't gonna want to deal with that. You know? And you gonna like it's gonna be a reality check. Like, yeah, this bitch really hungry. Stay away, hold on a second, hold on. Because what energy they gonna come with? They gonna try to cling on to you. And you gonna try to stiff on them. You gonna try to push them away. Look, face that way when you talk. Don't look at me. Just look over. Like, calm down, back up with that shit. But the point is, imagine for women out there, right, that are listening, that are watching, think about this. If you are in a position where you know your body, you know you. If you can't shower for a week, for 2 weeks, you can't eat. You ain't no water, ain't no hygiene, ain't no perfume, no cologne, no new clothes. You know, you may be walking and you may step in dog shit, or you may step in mud. Your skin gets itchy. You know, you got acne. You can't clean yourself. And then your only option to get all those things back is to go be with another man who will protect you, you know, when all hell breaks loose. But he got like 5 other women with him. When all hell breaks loose, man, trust and believe, the woman is not going to think, I'd rather go and take all those elements, battle the elements, because I don't want to be with this guy. He already got 5 women with him. When you see those 5 women, they're going to look fed, they're going to look clean, they're going to look happy, they're going to look protected, and you're going to look at yourself and the things you've been through, and you're going to say, oh, whoa, hold on. Because think about it, when all hell breaks loose, and these predators are out here in these streets, and they grab hold of you, if a dude rapes you in that time, you think he's going to stop, let me pull out, I want to have kids? You think he's going to say, let me strap up? No. So now he done whatever he's done with you, left you maybe by a street corner somewhere. He might, see, dudes in that time, I always emphasize this, they're not going to want to make love, okay? In that time, they're not there to make love with you. So a dude might beat your ass up. He might leave you with a black eye until you stop fighting, break your ribs or some shit, do what he got to do and then be out. Now you left there with a broken rib, you know, and God forbid, not God forbid, but for you in that case, say something happens to where you get injured and your injury gets infected. And now you're getting this like infection on your leg or your arm and you could barely walk. And now it gets so bad that, you know, so many things could go wrong in that time. And that's why it's going to be so deadly and so scary and so terrible that you're going to need. Got that?
This is Isaiah chapter 32:2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place.
And the wind and the tempest represent the destruction and the chaos. And what man is that going to be? Real quick, we get Isaiah 13:12. That's when you're going to see the importance of the men of the Lord. 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. And you ain't going, like you were saying, that's my type. That's not my type. You not my type. Okay. When that time comes, man, you're going to see the value in the men of the Lord. You're going to see the importance of serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Some of women's types is going to be done.
Yeah.
It says that they shall be as dung upon the streets.
Yep. Women, hey, you're going to have women that have men that are not going to be able to protect them. See, that's another thing that you gotta think about. Just having a man doesn't mean you're going to be protected. You got to be with a man of the Lord, because you're going to have, why did Abraham lie to the Egyptians? Because they were going to kill him and then take his wife. So when all hell breaks loose, imagine the situation where you got a man and you hiding behind him, and they take your man from you and they beat him up and kill him in front of you, and then they come and get busy on you. Imagine that. And then after that, imagine the trauma that you're going to have gone through. Now the one source that you ran to for protection, because you didn't seek the Lord, he's dead. Right there. You see his dead body right there. Now you don't know what to do. Imagine this was a man that went out, that protected you, that got food for you, that made sure you were safe, that said, all right, let's go here, all right, let's stop here, all right, let's do this, that gave you a sense of direction, and now he's dead.
And if I may say, you're going to have men that are 2/3 that'll be standing right there that you knew all your life as like this super thug, and that day when shit hit the fan, they gonna be the bitchiest niggas you know.
Right.
They gonna be the ones screaming the loudest. They might hide behind you when the bullets start flying. They might jump and put you in the way of harm's way.
Yep.
Those gonna be the same men that you looked at as the thugs that, yeah, I only mess with thugs. And those thugs gonna be the sweetest thing on your plate,
Sweet muffins.
screaming.
Yeah. Oh shit, they gonna be out. Hey, there was a real quick, there was a prank that it was like a scary clown prank, and basically you had a man coming down the stairs with his girl, and the dude for Halloween he dresses like a clown, and he has a big mallet, and they put like a fake body with a watermelon, and then they just show the head. So they wait, and the second they see you come down, he just like smashes the head, and you see this red substance which is like blood, and it's at night in the stairwell somewhere. So the second some dude came down, he said, "Oh shit," he went back up. Another dude came down with his woman, and the second he saw that shit, he said, "Nah, I'm out of here." He dipped, and his woman is standing there. She like, "Wait." But then the guy came back. Instinctively, he ran, took a couple steps. He said, "Shit, I forgot my woman." So he ran back, picked her up, put her on his shoulder, and then ran with her. Now, when I saw the video, I said, see, not every dude is gonna be like that. You're gonna have a dude who you walking with, he's like, yo, hey, I got you, baby. Man, you saw what I did to that young boy, right? Don't worry about it. Come down the stairs and he sees some shit over there. You're gonna turn around, looking at it, all right, babe, what do we do? You're gonna be looking around for him, you're gonna turn around and he ain't gonna be there. The door is just gonna be just flinging back and forth and he's out. He might steal your car and dip and leave you over there. You know, or he may give you up, you know? Here, take her. And then he runs. And that's when you're going to realize, damn, this guy's a punk. You know? This guy only cares about himself. That's when you're going to look for a man to protect you, man.
Right.
All right, let's get on that.
This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
So, what man is that? That's a man of the Lord. Because why would the Most High make a wicked individual more precious than fine gold? That doesn't make sense. And when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, it goes into that, right? Acceptable men tried in the furnace of adversity. And then in 2nd Ezra 16, it says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, for they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Right? Go ahead.
I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Now, how is the man of the Lord going to be made more precious than fine gold? Because of the traits and the values. See, the Lord, pursuant to Ezekiel 9:4, is going to have the hedge over the men, and it's going and that hedge will spread to those that are under His house. Okay, if the Lord has mercy upon them. See, so just like who was it? I forgot who it was, but in various cases, you would have an individual that gets messed up, and what do? They go to a man that they know the Lord is dealing with. They say, can you pray to the Lord for me? You know, because I know He's going to hear your prayer, so please, can you pray for me? So a lot of people are going to realize, look, the Lord is definitely dealing with such and such. I need favor, I need help. Let me go to this individual. Because if I go to the Lord straight up, I ain't going to get nothing.
And that's what Israel did in the wilderness to Moses. With the situation with the serpents, when they was being wicked, they didn't just go straight up to the Most High. No, they went to Moses and asked him, hey, pray to the Most High for us.
Yep, exactly. So, hey, that's the times we're coming into, man, and as that death comes, you're going to really want to be under that hedge of protection, you know, and you're going to need that protection from your help, Shai. And we've been serving the Lord since, you know, whenever it is that we came into the truth. Now, we're going to keep serving the Lord, you know, no matter what it comes with, because the benefits that come, when we start reaping the benefits of serving the Lord, it's going to be above any other, you know? And at that time, man, you're going to be more than gracious, more than glad that you serve the Lord. As a matter of fact, last precept. Let me see. No, not that one. That's a good one. But, yeah. All right, so not last. Get that one, and then the other one is it's either the Most High is not unrighteous as to forget your labor of love which you have had towards His name. I think that's the one. Hebrews 6:10. I think. Whoever gets whichever first, you can bring it out, and then we'll close it out. So that's the times we're in, man, and we need the grace of Yahweh Shai. We're watching as well as praying, but why are we praying? You know, we're praying that when the temptation comes, when the destruction comes, the Lord preserves us and our loved ones. And don't worry about it, man. I mean, you may have people around you who they may not be in the truth, but they all right. You know, they do fine by you. Just pray to the Lord. See, when you read the scriptures, it tells you that Lot, right? Lot was a just individual, right? It says he delivered just Lot because Lot was just. But he also delivered Lot's Lot's daughters. And he was going to have mercy on Lot's wife, but she decided to look back. See? Same thing with Noah. It said Noah found grace. It didn't say Noah and his wife and his sons found grace. It said Noah found grace. But because of, because Noah found grace, Lord had mercy upon him and his house. So who got what?
I got Isaiah 65.
Let's read Isaiah 65 and then we'll finish from Hebrews.
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 12. Therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear. Right, and how is the Lord speaking right now to us right now, through the mouth of the servants, the prophets? Right? But did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Right, because when we're speaking to the people right now, as we're doing through the YouTube and out here in the street ministry, what? People can hear our words. Some jakes are passed by us, but what? When, as it says, but did evil before my eyes, like we were talking about a little earlier, what the brother was going into, how Jake is stiff, hard-headed and stiff-necked. When they hear this word, they just keep walking by and they don't want to hear it. Because we had a couple of times where there was one Jake that passed us when we were like over there, and like when he heard the word, he kept walking. He wanted to come, stop, but he's like, and kept going.
That angel said, keep pushing, right?
Yeah. So that's how you did evil before the Lord's eye. Because what? This is your opportunity to repent, to save your life, to save your family's life. And what? You keep walking by, you keep like, whatever, you do that. And doing that is what? Showing the Lord, like, I don't care about repenting. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. And the things where it says, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Verse 13, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Why? Why are the servants going to eat? Why are the servants going to drink? Because what? Being a servant comes with, like you were saying, perks, benefits. When you partake in something, like you sign a contract, what? There are certain, I believe there were stipulations, things that you're supposed to do, and these are what's required of you. And when you do these things, these are the perks and the benefits that you're going to get that comes with it. So when you serve the Lord, look, I require you to do this, that, and that. I require you to do your videos. I require you to pray, fast, do your videos, go out there on the street. And when you do these things, when the time comes, these are the perks and benefits that you're going to get. Lord, I'm going to protect you. Lord, I'm going to make sure that you eat in the time of famine. If you get caught in concentration, I'm going to be able to deliver. I might send an angel or chariots to get you out of it. These are the perks and benefits that come with serving you. Just like when you read in the blessing, the 28th chapter, what? Those were the blessings, those were the perks that came from what? Being obedient unto the Lord.
Deuteronomy 28.
Verse 14. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry and sorrow but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit, right? Because the people didn't want to listen. Those the wicked of our people, 2/3, because they didn't want to listen, they're going to howl and sorrow for vexation of spirit. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was when I went to the word vexation, it goes into regret. Because when they heard this word, it was like, when they come to that realization, like, oh, that's what he was talking about, that's what they was talking about, that's that regret, like, I should have listened, I wouldn't be in this predicament if I only listened. It's something like if your friend told you, yo, I told you to do that, but you're too late now, and since you didn't want to do it, you're like, damn, I should have did that. Damn, now I gotta deal with this bullshit. Right, because you didn't want to hear the Lord, you turned your back on the Lord, now you gotta deal with the judgment. Now you gotta deal with the teeth, the wild beasts, all that type of stuff out there. Yeah, that's it.
The Hebrews, it's not.
This is Hebrews 6 and 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name.
Right, so what are we doing right now? We're showing, we're working and showing love to the Lord, because coming out here, you know, sacrificing your time and the things that, whatever it is, to serve the Lord and to do it the right way, right? To do it diligently, to do it fervently, to take it seriously. Doing that is showing love to the Lord. Because what did the Lord tell Peter? He said, if you love me, feed my sheep, right? Feed my lambs. And the apostle Peter said, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love you. So, if we love the Lord, what are we going to do? We're going to feed his lambs, right? Go on. So because of that,
And that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister.
right? So ye have ministered and do minister. So you did the work, but you're still doing it. You in season, out of season. Because you got to always remember that what you do doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody else. Especially if you're a shepherd. If you're a shepherd, it doesn't matter if you're angry, sad, hungry, whatever, you feel good, you feel bad. Sheep are sheep. They always got to eat. All right? If you're tired, doesn't mean that the stomach of the sheep says, all right, we're taking a break today. No. So the second you say, well, for personal reasons, I'm going to take my hand off the plow, that's sheep right there that you are not feeding. And you're not doing the work of the Lord. So you stop loving the Lord because you got personal reasons, personal things going on. Well, did Yahweh Shai say I'm not going to go on the cross because I got personal issues going on? Why I got to go die for this nigga that has betrayed me? I don't want to do that. No, I ain't doing it. That's not what the Lord did. Does it? Now read verse 10 again.
Hebrews 6 and 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister.
There you go, which we have showed toward his name, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And that we have ministered to the saints, we have served the saints, and do minister. So we're continuing in it. And the scriptures say, wax old in thy work. That's what we wanted, well, that's what we ought to do. We don't want to have to get old in this society. All right?
I just wanted to say that's a beautiful point, because I always hope and pray that I go back to spirit world doing this work and not be a reprobate and fall out. But the point that I wanted to make is that we live in sacrifices, just like we rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh Shai as he was a living sacrifice. Right. So when we come out here week in, week out, whether it's hail, sleet, rain, or snow, 100-degree weather, we putting our lives on the line in these conditions. And on top of that, we in the streets with demons who want to literally like kill us, hate us for what we do. So when we out here, it's like a whole battlefield, you know? We come across demons who hate what we do. They want to call police. They want to fight, you know, whatever the case may be. But we out here, we do this work. And Hebrews 6 and 10 is a confirmation of the Lord saying he's not unrighteous when he see our labor. So there's an ultimate goal in this, but we do it for the fact that we know that we just servants of the Lord, but we do believe that there's going to be a recompense.
Right, like we said. So anyway, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Next time.